Hey everyone, Sundowner here, and welcome back to BioShock Infinite. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday over the last couple of weeks, and I'm now officially back to making these videos. As usual, I apologise for the delay between updates, but well, it is what it is. So I was going to start this update off with the heater shotgun that I have right now. It's pretty cool, but I found a regular shotgun and I just felt a little bit nostalgic for it, so I decided to swap it out and pick it up and use that instead. But don't worry, I will eventually use the heater shotgun at some point. More importantly, however, is I finally found the storm hat, and this is one of the pieces of gear that I had been dying to find because it's pretty much going to complete the overpowered aspects of some of the vigors that we've been using, so it's going to get pretty interesting from here on out, and there's a very good example of how this is going to enhance my skill set coming up in the middle of this update somewhere. And from this point onwards I'm going to start taking advantage of my powers and showing off just how ridiculous they can be.
You hold on to this. Okay, catch.
So with the storm hat, now the bucking bronco and devil's kiss will chain to enemies around, and it gets pretty damn interesting. That wasn't a very good example, just wait until we get into a bigger crowd.
This prophecy business. You don't think anyone can really see the future, do you?
I saw something once when I first got here. A dream. It was New York, but larger than any New York I ever saw. It was burning.
None of the prophet's magic is rubbing off on you.
Yeah!
On it!
Cut you in half!
I think now we'll just pick up whatever little pieces of loot I can find, and then we can head on to the next area.
There you go.
Yep, I'm still getting those pop-ups and I still can't figure out how to fix it. Pretty much every solution mentioned online somewhere fails to work. I try and edit them out where I can.
I just realized who those two are. They, well, at least she, invented the technology that allows the city to float.
Giant balloons.
Quantum particles, suspended in space-time at a fixed height.
So, not giant balloons?
But the thing is, my book said they disappeared several years ago.
I told you they'd come.
No, you didn't.
Right. I was going to tell you they'd come.
But you didn't.
But I don't.
You sure that's right?
Something tells me they're not exactly what they appear.
I was going to have told you they'd come?
No,
The subjunctive?
that's not subjunctive.
I don't think the syntax has been invented yet.
It would have had to have been.
Had to have had been. That can't be right.
They seem to want to help.
They seem to be out of their minds.
Odd, isn't it?
What's odd?
The fact that we sometimes...
Finish each other's sentences?
Exactly.
It would be odder if we didn't.
How do you suppose they manage that?
I'll get back to you after I figure out the floating city bit. Comstock House is up ahead.
The seed of the prophet shall sit the throne. He was grooming me, wasn't he?
Comstock? Yeah, I think so.
And why lock me up?
Well, I'm guessing you didn't want to be groomed. Maybe he had something in the works to make you agreeable.
Like what?
I think it's best we don't find out.
Thought they'd stay on top forever. Ha! Look at them now!
Oh, well, look at you now. Oh, that's going to be addictive. So the Storm Hat couldn't have come at a better time, because before we head on, I'm now finally going to upgrade Devil's Kiss to give us even more damage and even more range and more mini clusters. So it chains and then it chains.
You hold on to this.
Well, thanks Elizabeth. I was actually just going to get some money from this with possession, but sure, thank you. And one more thing to do before we head on is to check out this extra room in the back here.
If there's anyone who could hear the sound of my voice, these are dire times, and I could ever so use your aid. I hope no one has forgotten me here. Now back to the music.
Doesn't sound too good on the radio host side there, but I do kind of feel bad. The worry in his voice weighs heavy. So here is the Hailfire, the red or alternate version of the volley gun. It's pretty cool. One thing that makes it different from the regular volley gun is that the grenades or projectiles inside actually bounce and ricochet off of walls and off of the ground. You'll see that a couple of times as we go on.
Can you help me out with this lock?
I'll see what I can do. All done. Found some money. Catch.
Elizabeth, where do you keep finding this money?
Who's out there? Gun him down!
There you can see the Hailfire bouncing off of the ground. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's to your detriment. Also, the game will do that from time to time. Once you clear an area, then head into like a side room, suddenly it will spawn more enemies.
The district's out. Execute anybody who looks like they give us trouble. Anyone with a gun, anyone wearing glasses. Round up
What's
the rest.
that? Look at this.
Mr. Comstock, when we next meet, it won't be to parley. See, I went out to that Hall of Heroes to scalp your false shepherd for you. Turns out, though, DeWitt speaks Sioux. He helped me to swap words with this crippled child I've been, looking after. Now, after hearing how the kid has fared in your city, I'm thinking when we take your pelt, I'll let him hold the knife.
Sounds like Red Booker and Preston Downs may have crossed paths in this tear. Befriending each other or turning against Comstock? I don't know. So it looks like we have a few areas to explore, so let's get to it.
Can you unlock this?
Really? That little old lock. Done.
Nothing of real value here, but it's always worth finding silver dollars. Speaking of which, money bags over here. So you've probably seen just a minute ago, there's the Salty Oyster Pub. We're going to go in there and check it out.
You want to take a look at this?
No problem. Got it.
Oh, I see you there, making those little movements. And that's where the hailfire tends to fail just a little bit. It's hard to, you know, be precise when it doesn't necessarily always explode on impact. I just love it when, after the heat of battle, some upbeat jazz piece slowly fades in the background. It's always so lovely, despite being completely at odds with what just happened. But I guess part of that is the beauty of it. Oh, thanks Elizabeth for spotting that. I was sure as hell just about to miss it. Not very useful though, but I will take it as per usual. You never know. I was debating with myself on whether I wanted to spend the money on the upgrade or not, but I figure I have the carbine and it's pretty fun to use, and well, it is overpowered, so it can only help by making it even more powerful. No secrets to be found this time, only secretions. There is an RPG, but I'm going to save that for later as well. So let's just pick up the money, gold bar, and... okay, Elizabeth, at this point we may as well just pay off Comstock and buy a goddamn Zeppelin ourselves, but unfortunately that's not an option available to us. Ah yes, who even knew she had kin? There's nothing we can do about this store just now, but we'll be back later.
You'll find it cheaper than making.
Oh, come on, what's cheaper than making whoopee?
Dance with the man! There, that one!
There you go.
You shouting judge! Want your soul!
Mr. DeWitt, you're hurt! And you've got to go! Hold him there!
Ah, the all-powerful carbine. Spam to win. Also, Elizabeth throwing video game health my way probably helped just a little bit as well. So now we are approaching my favourite infantry-based combat arena. Just watch and also keep in mind that I have upgraded Devil's Kiss and I also have the ridiculously overpowered Storm Hat.
Sons of bitches! Your homes are ours! Your lives are ours! Your wives are ours!
Elizabeth, get back here! Oh my god.
Okay, catch!
Great.
There! That one!
Okay,
Do it! Now!
there you go! Fireman over there! Not ready. I found ammo! Catch, Booker!
Appreciate it.
Keep my eyes open for more.
Just everything about that, the music, the beats on kills, the Tesla coils, the upgraded powers, just everything about it is fantastic, even though it's quite simple and really not as theatrical as some of the previous and more vertical and skyhook based combat sequences, but nevertheless I really love it.
Lock picked.
Child's play. There.
I'm going to try something new with voxophones by playing it live rather than through the menu. So here's one from Rosalind Lutece.
The Lutece field entangled my quantum atom with waves of light, allowing for safe measurement. Sound familiar, brother? That's because you were measuring precisely the same atom from a neighboring world. We used the universe as a telegraph. Switching the field on or off became dots and dashes. Dreadfully slow. But now you and I could whisper through the wall.
So let me know if you prefer it that way. I'll do it for the rest of this update to get a feel for it, and worst case scenario is I can put subtitles up because I kind of prefer playing it live. Also, that voxophone kind of sounded like the plot for Primer, but well, so many years later that movie is still confusing as hell, so I'm not about to question the Lutece's practices. It's Comstock painted in red.
I'll wait down here.
Nothing really valuable up here. There is a purse, but well, that's whatever.
I found some money. Want it?
Much obliged.
I don't even have a joke at this point.
Help me out with this lock?
Really? That little old lock. There you go.
Elizabeth!
There.
Butcher him! Like hell! Dibs on his boots. Dibs on the girl!
Those those turnstiles are one way. Should we check out the bookstore before we...
Oh, don't mind Booker, he's just setting himself alight. So taking Elizabeth's advice, we're going to explore a little before moving on.
Open it.
Done. Go ahead. I'll be fine.
We might as well stock up a little bit while we have time before moving on to the next area.
Seems right up your alley.
On it. All yours.
Electricity!
This piece of gear is pretty cool, but it's not very useful in any situation we'll be in, plus, well, the storm hat is just too good. And now another voxophone from Rosalind Lutece.
Brother, what Comstock failed to understand is that our contraption is a window not into prophecy, but probability. But his money means the Lutece field could become the Lutece tear, a window between worlds, a window through which you and I might finally be together.
So we're beginning to see this image painted of the Luteces wanting to further explore their scientific study, but they have to work with a man who's not necessarily the greatest of people, but he certainly has a lot of money to spend. Pretty interesting dynamic.
Check out downstairs. I'll slaughter ya.
Sally! The bastard snuck in while the Vox was shooting up the place and took my girl! Got her locked up in the Salty Oyster, his hidden closet he keeps all his treasures. Just need to hit the button under the register to open it, but...
So now we have an optional side quest that we have to backtrack through the level, so we'll go and do that now. Back to the Blue Oyster Pub. Well, now we can finally open this door. We just have to find out how.
Booker, there must be a button under the register.
Press to generate a magnetic shield. Hold to absorb damage and release to throw it back. Hold and release to create an explosive trap.
So we got ourselves a new vigor, This one is basically like a shield, and it's not very useful, but we'll get to see it in action in just a moment.
Really? We just risked our lives for a bit of titillation?
I think I knew her. Worked at a bar on Houston Street.
I bet you did.
And another voxophone from Rosalind Lattès, further expanding on her work with Robert.
You have been transfused, brother, into a new reality. But your body rejects the cognitive dissonance through confusion and hemorrhage. But we are together, and I will mend you. For what separates us now but a single chromosome?
There were a couple of interesting things said in that voxophone, but I'll leave it to the thread to deduct and discuss. I'll just say the hemorrhaging was an interesting point to bring up. And now we're getting to see this return to sender. Like I said, it's just a kind of shield, but it's not too useful, and I have honestly never found a reasonable application for it when pretty much every other power is far more useful and diverse. Like that, you know, turning people into a crisp. But now that we are finished with that optional side quest, I think we're just going to head into the next area, but that is going to be the end of this update. So until next time, thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you all later.
These lock when we pass through. We won't be able to return.